My story is, I'll just give you the quick rundown version. So I've struggled with opiate addiction for the last 10 years. I used with my older brother, who sort of got me into using drugs, and next thing you know, I had developed a drug habit. So I spent about 8 years going in and out of detoxes, in and out of jail, in and out of treatment centers. In 2013, I found myself doing really well. I had actually 6 months clean from all drugs. Yay, Jonathan's doing well, right? Everything's great. And I was actually living in a recovery environment, and one day, I can't explain it, but just one day, I just reverted back to using opioids. And I went back to using the exact same amount I was, and I overdosed. I overdosed immediately. And thank God somebody in the house was aware of Narcan, and there was Narcan in the house. They happened to find me. I was on the floor, completely pale, just barely breathing, completely unconscious. And there was Narcan in the house. And somebody, quick thinking, grabbed the kit and did everything I just explained to you, and called an ambulance, and the ambulance came, brought me to the hospital, and for me, that was a sort of, I think that was a sort of jarring wake-up call that I needed. Unfortunately, addiction is so hard when you're dealing with people that are in active addiction, and a lot of times they don't want help, or they're very conditional about what help they're willing to take. And sometimes, and my life being an example of that, sometimes it takes an overdose for the individual to really step back and reflect on their life. And sitting in that hospital bed gave me that opportunity. As I'm sitting there, and I've got, I actually even had a catheter, and I had IV drip bags, everything, and I'm sitting there, and it really gave me the opportunity to say, I'm going to die. This is it, So sometimes I can speak from my own story. For me, that's what it took for me to realize that there was no more using in safety for me. There was no more, I'm going to use and I'm going to go to a detox. For me, it was just this realization that I'm going to die, and I don't want to die. I lost my brother in 2009, died of an overdose, and in 2004 my father also overdosed and passed away. Narcan wasn't as readily available for them, or people weren't as much aware of the issue at that time. So for me, I like to really get out and educate the community on this and how we can actually prevent overdose deaths. And once I got my bearings back, it's a little overwhelming when you overdose, die, and come back to life. For me personally, I find a new sense of worth and purpose in volunteering. I'm volunteering for Miriam Hospital, doing this here, and working with an at-risk population of people. I also volunteer for the Department of Health's Overdose Prevention Coalition, and you find that a lot. I see that a lot with people that overdose, and they come out of it. Now, these were people that were living on the streets. These were people that a lot of folks may view them as a burden on society, but just as I have, these are people that can come out of it on the other side and find recovery, and maintain a lifestyle in recovery and become responsible, productive members of society. So that's what we're kind of dealing with here. We're dealing with people that have the potential to go out and become part of the world that we live in, regardless of how they're living right now.